I was looking forward to just relaxing my night away, getting ready for my trip tomorrow, but no. Corporate executives make me want to talk about something. So, what's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and Microsoft need to stop. They need to slow down and they need to be careful. Okay, because Microsoft, after the revelation that the Xbox One X is most likely not going to live up to its expectations, it's poised to not deliver the true 4K experience. It's poised to not deliver uncompromised graphics. It's poised to not deliver 60 frames per second. As was promised, touted, and shown off absolutely everywhere by Microsoft over the last year, in fact, even a few days ago at E3 2016, 17, and every time it came up in between. Once again, I am not an Xbox hater. In fact, right before this video, I finished playing a multiple session Halo 5 Guardians Warzone Firefight series. I earned almost 20k rec points. And if you know Halo 5 Guardians, you know how many games that took. So that's, you can't say I don't play my Xbox. So, what is it this time anyway? Well, Microsoft need to slow down and be careful with the damage control. So because we know Xbox One is likely to be a bit more lackluster than they promised, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, and now Mike Ybarra are saying some silly things. So we already have the issue with Phil Spencer, who talked about most people don't care about 60 frames per second despite it being the actual main thing that affects your gameplay rather than anything visually whatsoever. But now Mike Ybarra is saying silly things. So what is he saying anyway? Well, it's in his comparison of Xbox One X and the power and hardware in Xbox One X versus a PC. So what he had to say: the console is fixed hardware, so we know exactly what GPU, CPU, and memory is in that box. We have extensions to DirectX specific for that, so the developers can call right to the hardware and know exactly how to get every ounce of power out of it. When you're on PC, there's that abstraction layer. Even with the GPU manufacturer add-ons, there's still an abstraction layer there that pays a tax on performance. With fixed hardware on a console, we can get every single ounce out of that and into a game's hands. So he's not 100% wrong there. It's more of a 50-50. While he's mostly referring to what is usually called console level optimization, which yes, does exist. Consoles, because they are one specific fixed piece of hardware that will always be the same. Well, assuming Xbox One and Xbox One will always be the same, Xbox One X will always be the same. You get my point. So because of all of that, developers can get right into what's called right into the metal, basically. So there's very little overhead when it comes to developing console games or games for console hardware. For the simple reason is there's very little they do on the side or in the background or have to worry about CPU, GPU, or memory anywhere else, so they can usually get a bit more out of it. However, because console hardware is not directly equivalent to PC hardware, for example, you can't buy an AMD GPU that will be exactly the same as an Xbox One X, for example. This is where everything gets weird, because yes, it does have a significant teraflop computing power. At the same time, it would not be equivalent to a computer GPU of 6 teraflops. I know that's going to sound a little bit strange, like how can 6 teraflops be different from 6 teraflops elsewhere? It basically is, for the simple reason, the best way I can describe it is there's a lot of nuances and the way the technology works in the PC hardware of it. Without really going into like specific engineering details, it's very hard to explain. But basically, when you look at it, a 6 teraflop PC GPU will run games better than a 6 teraflop console GPU. Will be able to do different settings, etc., etc. Now, He went on to say a little bit more because there was concern that developers would forego using the extra power of Xbox One X because of maybe the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 4 Pro, or the potential lack of adoption of the Xbox One X. So here's what he had to say when it comes to that. I think they'll embrace it, he said in respect to developers. They want to show their game in the best possible way. As a developer myself, I want to show you whatever I'm creating in the best possible light. It's kind of like saying that when a developer makes a PC game, do they make it to a fixed low-end set where there are all these switches that people can go in and turn on? It's the same way with Xbox One X. We've been meeting with developers. You heard EA on our stage saying that they're going to optimize this because they want to show consumers the most amazing version of their game. And on Xbox One X, it's going to deliver it for them. Now, when it comes to this, again, he's not completely wrong. For the simple reason is, yes, developers will want to take advantage of extra power and extra hardware. As much as I dislike EA and their practices and their games in general, there is no denying that EA, specifically, again, I hate saying this, but DICE usually do push graphics forward and technology forward. Look at the new BioWare game, Anthem. It looks like a technological feat, as much as that kills me to say it. The game doesn't look very good. It's not my kind of game. But visually and technically, I suppose you could call it mechanically, it's also a very highly, I won't say highly optimized. It's a very technologically advanced game. So you get my point there, at least where that's coming from. Now, everything he's said right up until this point is not completely untrue. But the exception I take with this whole argument and this point that I was specifically leaving to this part of the video, I didn't want to say it right out at the start because I felt that would have gave the whole thing away. Then again, the title of the video would probably do that. But the big exception I take with everything he's just said in these two paragraphs is the fact that this was all said in relation to Mike Ybarra's comments about comparing the Xbox One X and the hardware and power inside it to a $1,500 PC. $1,500 PC. Now, for those of you who aren't PC gamers or don't know much about PC gaming or don't know anything about PC gaming, a $1,500 PC will absolutely crush an Xbox One X. And do you know how I can prove that? It's simple. One number and a single 3-letter acronym. Are you ready?
Let me put my mask on here. Let me put my mask on here. Let me put my mask on here.
30 FPS. You don't build a relatively high-end gaming PC. $1,500 is a relatively high-end. Let's say anything of $2,500 over is top-end. I know my PC is $5,000. But my point is, you don't build a $1,500 PC, let alone a $2,500 or $5,000 computer, to play games at 30 frames per second. If you want to play games at 30 frames per second, you build a $500 PC. It's that simple. People who are coming to PC gaming and spending upwards of $700, €700, $1,000, upwards. They're not doing it so they can play, I'm going to play a nice looking game at 30 frames per second. No, it's just not how it works. And the reason I'm calling bullshit on that is this: as much as I hate, I will call a company out for doing shit like this, but as much as I hate the fact that I have to call them out because they're doing shit like this is what annoys me. So the fact that they are comparing the Xbox One X to something of 3 times the value and significantly more use and of significantly more power, it's just ludicrous, and it is damage control. I hate to have to do it, but when you do stupid shit like this, you deserve it. It's that simple. This all ties into the fact as well that if you remember a day or two ago, the developers behind Ark Survival Evolved, that game that I would say would potentially be in early access forever until earlier today when they actually announced when full access is going to release, they compared the Xbox One X to a computer with the power of a GTX 1070 and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Not 16 gigabytes of video RAM, but 16 gigabytes of regular RAM. Now, while that is and probably isn't the case at the same time, there is no way that the Xbox One X is going to be on par with a GTX 1070. For the simple reason is we've already seen where a 1070 will outperform the Xbox One X. Not to mention the horrible CPU, which is still in the Xbox One family, which is probably the biggest thing that's holding it back, unfortunately, especially when it comes to increased frame rates. So I really hope they slow down on the damage control, because it's getting a bit out of hand. What are we on? It was Saturday night, I believe, when Microsoft press conference was. So here we are, what is it, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 5 days later, and we've already got 2 large-scale, stupid, idiotic cases of damage control. And that's something I don't want to see. But we're going to keep seeing it. And as time progresses, and it comes out that more and more developers are using checkerboard rendering to hit 4K, more and more developers are hitting 30 FPS caps, and more developers are not using 4K native, uncompromised, it's just going to get worse. Now, will the Xbox One Scorpio still be a decent machine? Probably. Most likely it will still be a decent machine for €500. Probably, yeah. I don't dissuade that, or I don't dispute that, and I don't dissuade anyone from thinking that. However, to compare it to something that is physically noted and tested and factually more powerful, is, you're just making yourselves look stupid. And chances are, if you look on YouTube or any major media site that deals in tech, chances are you will see the same thing, the same sentiment that I am saying right now. That's going to be echoed all over the place. It's going to be, Microsoft, stop. You're being stupid, and the internet is laughing at you. It's that simple. And I hope you've enjoyed the visuals on this video, for the simple reason is it's a game running on PC, completely, absolutely top of the line, maxed out, running at over 100 FPS, captured at a solid 60 FPS, and uploaded for you. Not 30 FPS, but 60. So, what do you think about the whole damage control situation that's going on at the moment? It doesn't matter if the Xbox One X is a little bit less powerful than it was claimed. In fact, actually, what we're finding out now is it's significantly less powerful than we claimed. But the point is, what do you think of the image of these companies defending in the way that they're defending, with their ludicrous claims, and they're just, oh my god, I don't even know what to call it at this point. Sigh. Anyway, let me know all of that in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.